Alright, good morning YouTube. In today's video, I'm just going to be talking about myself. It's kind of like an introduction video. I made videos talking about the purpose of the channel, but I never really talked too much about myself, and that's what I'm going to be doing in today's video because we recently hit 100 subscribers. I'm very grateful for everyone who has supported the channel, whether through comments, liking, subscribing, going onto my website, downloading the free programs that are available there, and anyone who has purchased coaching programs, and I'm very grateful for that. So thank you so much for supporting me and the channel. I hope that the information that I will continue to put on here will be useful to you. So just so that way you all took the leap of faith of finding my advice useful and finding my programming to be useful for you without really knowing too much about myself. So I really commend you for that. So I want to kind of let you know who I am, what my experiences are. I just want to make this video so that way anyone who does come to the channel now, like who has been on the channel for quite a while, and for anyone new coming to the channel in the future, they can get a feel of who I am and my experience with fitness. So I started working out when I was 16 years old. When I was right before I turned 16, like I would say like a couple months before I turned 16, I actually broke my ankle. So I broke my ankle, and I was I was like bedridden, or like, I wasn't able to move around all that much because I was in a freaking cast. And that was the first time where a sedentary lifestyle was actually forced on me. So before then I was very sedentary. You don't get to be 300 pounds at 16 years old without being sedentary. And when I got that cast on, I was only like maybe 20 pounds away from 300. But once the cast came off, boom, 300 pounds. So horrible, right? But because that was the first time I realized like just how much it sucks to not be able to move or not have the option to move. Once the cast came off, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna start moving immediately. They recommended that I waited a couple weeks to do any form of exercise, but I just decided, you know what, I can go to the gym and do upper body. I can go to the gym and just do cables. I can just do machines, because I was living at this apartment complex at the time that had a kind of like a fitness center. Like, to call it a gym would be a bit of an understatement or overstatement, I should say. So it was a tower of dumbbells that only went up to 50, but someone stole the one of the 50-pound weights, not both, just one. Um, it had two benches. One was adjustable, one was flat. It had a lat pull down and cable row machine in one, and then it had that I never know what to call this cable stack machine, but it's the one where it's like, a stack on both sides. You see that in any commercial gym. And that was it. Besides that, three treadmills, two bikes, two ellipticals. One was broken though. So that was the equipment I had access to. But over the course of some 16 to about 17 and a half, I went from 300 pounds to 180 pounds. So over the course of a year, I lost 120 pounds. Now, I wish the ways that I did it was very sustainable. Unfortunately, I did have the experience that a lot of people do have where, well, I mean, because you're young, you don't really know much about like a sustainable lifestyle because you barely had enough time to live. But for me, the things that I did to get to that weight loss, well, it's not necessarily that I was unhealthy, but I would say it was very unsustainable. So my diet at the time was literally a bag of frozen vegetables a day. I just got this California mix, which is broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots, chicken breast, and tilapia, and the only thing I would season it with was salt and pepper. Like, I didn't do any other sauces, any other seasonings, just salt and pepper. Maybe if I'm feeling adventurous, I would put soy sauce. And then I would have rice once a week, and then one cheat meal a week as well, or every other week, I believe. I don't remember entirely what I did then, but yeah, for about a year and a half, that's what I did. Just salt and pepper on my chicken and fish, a bag of frozen vegetables, and one bowl of rice a week. And I did that for about a year and a half straight. And it's kind of surprising to me that I was able to maintain that for that long. Like, obviously there would be every now and then a couple cheat meals, going out with friends, or anything like that, but generally speaking, because most of my diet was mostly that suboptimal and just like that on that much little food, while in addition to working out every single day, I was eventually able to lose the weight. A lot of the weight loss actually came during the summer in between sophomore and junior year. So I was losing a lot of weight over the course of the year. So from the beginning of sophomore year to the end, I lost a pretty good amount of weight. But during the summer, that's when it really kicked off because that's when I was really strict on the diet. But I also started doing two-a-days. So in the mornings, I would do a pretty much an hour of cardio. So I would run a mile as fast as I could. I was able to get right below 7 minutes. So I wasn't able to get below 6, but I was able to get like around like a 6:30 at the time. And after I did my mile on the treadmill, I would go into the pool and just swim. So that was my morning workout, and then I came back later at night to hit the weights. So just a lot of dumbbell stuff, a lot of calisthenics, a lot of cable work. But yeah, for the longest time, because that was just what I had access to, a small apartment gym, calisthenics became a really big thing. I think one of the first programs I ever followed was a Frank Medrano program. I don't know if you guys remember him, but when calisthenics really started being popular, he kind of popped up, and when One Punch Man became popular, he kind of reemerged for like a day, and kind of went from there. But yeah, I did a program from him, just doing that every day in addition to dumbbell work, and then I moved out of the apartment. So my family, we moved to another place in the area, and it was a home, so no more access to a apartment gym. So what I had to do now was I had a park that was 1.5 miles away from my house, but it had calisthenics equipment, so pull-up bars, dip bars, and then from then on, basically until the end of senior year, so I just did entirely calisthenics, so body weight exercises every single day. And because I had to walk or run to the gym, I was doing basically 3 miles every single day. So 3 miles to the park, 3 mile and or well, 1.5 miles to the park, 1.5 miles back home, and that was essentially my cardio for the day. And I would lift or do calisthenics while I was there. So that helped me lose a bit more weight, and I was able to get down to that 180 mark. Um, Once I joined the military, so after I graduated, I went straight into the army, and this was when I had my first access to real gyms. So real gym equipment. I was always a big fan of Bart Kwan and Omar Isuf, but the thing is, because I didn't have access to that equipment, I wasn't really able to implement much of their advice or use a lot of their content. So, but once I actually had access to it, that's when I discovered my love for strength training, bodybuilding. So I would follow guys like I said, Barquan, Omar Isuf, Alan Thrall, Brian Alsru, who else? Steve Shaw. There's a lot of people I learned from, but I'm trying to remember like the early days. But Alex from Alpha Destiny. So these were the main sources of information that I would get, like a lot of my lifting advice from. And from then, I just fell in love with weight training. So now I've been out of the military for about 2 years now. I'm 23 years old. Like, has it been 2 years? Or, yeah, it's been about 2 years. So it'll be 2 years in September, I believe. So yeah, so I'm 23 years old right now. I currently weigh 260 pounds. I can bench press 325. My best squat is only 375. When I was in the military, it's kind of hard to build up my squat just because I really have as a heavy set guy. Like my weight in the military was kind of around 225, like on average. And because of my age bracket, for the PT test, I had to run a 15:56 2 mile. So 2 miles in 15 minutes and 56 seconds. Not that bad, like not horrible, but I mean, I was a heavier guy and I really hated running. And, there's a bunch of other issues as well. But generally speaking, it was pretty rough on me. And that, in addition to wanting to get into powerlifting, I was squatting very frequently. So my joints were just taking a beating. And, it was hard to build my squat while at the same time having to run as much as I needed to just to pass the test. When I got out, so before I got out, I didn't sustain some injuries. So refractured my ankle, tore some joints in my ligaments. They were all partial tears, so no need for surgery, but it did take me out of lifting for a while, and I actually had to reteach myself how to squat. So it was only this past year where I started making progress in the squat again. I was able to continue to deadlift and bench, but the squat has just always been a struggle point of mine. So 325 bench, 375 squat, and a 535 deadlift. So that's like my current bests right now, or 545 deadlift. My apologies. Sorry, math. But yeah, those are my current bests right now. And I achieved most of those lifts. I can do most of those lifts. No, I did. So sorry. 325 and 375 squat, accomplished at this body weight. Same thing with the 545 deadlift. These are all things that I accomplished this year, actually, when I started doing my training again. But other than that, that's like my training history, I guess. You'll know, like through my other videos that I consider myself to be a power builder. Um, Part of the reason why I consider myself that is just because I'm a recreational lifter. I don't really want to compete, mainly because maybe part of it could be fear. Maybe part of it could be the fact that I don't think that I actually put up competitive numbers, especially for my weight class. So that could be part of it. Um, but also just because I don't really want to go through that stress. Like, I train to enjoy my life. I train because it's a source of um, pride, satisfaction, and enjoyment. I do enjoy pushing myself, but I do it for me. So um, there's that. And also, same thing with I do enjoy bodybuilding style training. I don't just want to do only strength. I don't want to do just only size based training. I want to be able to do both. I want to be able to enjoy both. And one thing I kind of found to be interesting about a lot of information and programming is it's always kind of catered to the idea that you're going to compete, or you're going to eventually try to compete, or whatever like that. For me, it's this: if you're going to be a lifelong lifter and you just want to make as much progress as you can over the course of your life, the advices you should give should have some amount of that in mind. So I've restructured my training to kind of accommodate that, so that way my general fitness has gone up, my strength goes up, but I don't feel beat up. I don't feel like there's a rush for PRs. I hit PRs regularly after I kind of made that transition into like my current training philosophy, and it's helped a lot of other clients that I currently have. But it's never done in the vein that I'm going to train a specific way for a certain amount of time, get to a point where I'm really pushing the limits of my ability to recover, and then I peak, and then I have to like go all the way back down. For me, it's just kind of like this slow, steady progression. That's something that I have found to be incredibly useful, and it's something that I personally enjoy. And since those injuries that I sustained, like outside when I got out the military, nothing really too major has happened since then, and I'm enjoying my training. I'm enjoying my life. I'm able to make a great amount of progress, and I'm very happy. So that's my training history. I guess now I kind of want to talk about like just some things that you can, like some personal information, I guess. So like my mother's maiden name and the last four digits of my social, right? But no, so I am not by any means an athletic person. That's kind of why I always make the joke, like the reason why I work out and lift weights is because I suck at sports. And generally speaking, yeah, that's pretty true. Like if you went to school with me, like you'll know that I wasn't the best at sports. Like I wasn't very athletic. Partly because I wasn't very fit in school. Because like I said, I didn't really lose all the weight until very late into my high school life, I guess. Um, so there's that. So I always loved video games. Like I was playing video games for the longest time. My favorite video games growing up, like Dynasty Warriors was a big one. Like I just really liked how you can just turn off your brain and just, be a badass for a bit. Like it's like a hack and slash game, one versus 1,000 kind of thing. So really enjoyed that growing up. Really loved RPGs. Like a game that I have never been able to really I guess kick to the curb was Skyrim. Like I very much enjoy Skyrim. And other Fallout games as well. Like Fallout 3 was my first Fallout game, and then from there, Fallout New Vegas. I did play Fallout 4. It was a fun game, but not the best in the series. And then it made me not even want to try Fallout 76 though. But anyway, yeah, love playing Call of Duty. Like that's a fun game to play with friends. I did play League for quite a long time, but like I feel like League is one of those games you can never play casually and just for fun, because you just get, for whatever reason, it just brings out the worst in you. So I stopped playing that game entirely. Um, Let's see. Recently, the game that I've been playing a fair amount was Shogun Total War. So somewhere toward the end of high school, I started getting into PC gaming. So um, like with League, and then like discovering Steam and like all that kind of stuff. So PC gaming has been like what I've been mostly been playing on for the past couple of years. Played Smash for a bit, love Smash. If you are a Smash player like Super Smash Bros, I main Snake, Cloud, Chrom, and Terry. So those are my four main characters that I use like when I play that game. I'm really excited that Kazuya is coming out, but I don't really have anyone to play with at the moment, and the online is just too trash. Like my Wi-Fi is okay, but I don't have a LAN cable, so I'm not gonna do that. Let's see, but yeah, video games has been like the biggest thing in my life. Like, Breath of the Wild, great game. Playing Ghost of Tsushima right now because if you can't already assume, I'm a big fan of like Japanese shit and like weeaboo shit. Like, um, it's kind of unfortunate that liking samurais has been, I guess, like, what's the word? Like, appropriated by the weebs. Like, you can't like katanas and shit like that. But I mean, like, dude, like, think about it. You have these guys dressed up as literal like monsters and shit, wearing some heavy ass armor, riding down like on horses and just like fucking each other up with swords. Like, that should be fucking awesome, but it's now considered weeby and nerdy. I mean, like, but it's also the same people who think it's kind of weeby and nerdy really like 300, and they really like seeing these guys who are historically inaccurate, not even wearing armor, just like shirtless and in their underwear, fighting uh, misrepresented Persians. So, but whatever. I'm a big fan of like Marvel movies. I'm a big fan of comic book stuff. So whether it's DC, Marvel, I really don't care. Like, if it's cool, it's cool. If it's done well, it's done well. But some of my favorite movies, actually, one of my favorite movies of all time is The Dark Knight. Like, and that helped me, or that introduced me to the world of like superhero movies and stuff like that. So for me, like, I didn't really get into superhero movies until the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy. I thought Spider-Man was cool, but at the same time, I was kind of young. So the thing is that those movies, like, they're great for, like, they're great movies in general. But the thing is, like, when you're a kid, you kind of want action. You kind of want, like, you're not really thinking too much, and um, I guess it was just a bit too smart for me at the time when I first saw it because I was just really young. But I do recognize that they are great movies and they are really good movies. But just because I don't really have that, I didn't. I kind of got that impression. That first impression just kind of stuck with me. But the movies that really, really helped me get into the superhero genre was The Dark Knight, and my favorite superhero is actually Captain America. After the Captain America Winter Soldier movie came out, love that character ever since, and he's been my favorite Marvel superhero since then. Um, Other favorite movies, Last Samurai. I mean, is that a surprise at this point? Um, The Mummy. That was like with Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz. That was one of my favorite movies of all time growing up. Like, top tier movie. Like, I never really got into Indiana Jones, to be honest, but I really like the off-brand bootleg version, The Mummy. So that was my favorite movie growing up. Still one of my favorite movies of all time. And this kind of ties back into the very beginning of the video where I talked about my training history. One thing I did that really helped me lose a shit ton of weight was I would watch a Rocky movie every single day. So, and if I got bored of Rocky, I would watch a Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. So I would watch Rocky 1 and on Mondays, finish out the series. So by Saturday, it's you know, Rocky Balboa, the sixth movie in the franchise, and then on Sunday I just watch whatever else. That was my life for quite a long time, where I was just watching the Rocky movies nonstop. Like, I swear to God, for a while, like, I could really just remember everything about those movies, and I would watch the whole thing. I didn't just skip to the fight. I didn't just skip to the really high part or anything like that. I would watch the entire movie where Sly is delivering incoherent lines, but for some reason they just spoke to me, right? So yeah, for quite a while, like when I was losing weight, I would just watch a Rocky movie every single day, and it was enough for me to essentially starve myself and then work out really, really hard. Thank goodness I was fat because that's where all the energy came from. But other than that, I think that covers the bare basics of who I am and what I like. Um, I do watch anime, but it's not, I don't really watch like an entire series a day or anything like that, or like I'm actually very behind on like the anime list I do want to watch. But the anime that my favorite anime of all time, One Piece. I'm a One Piece fan. Like I watched Dragon Ball. I love Dragon Ball. I did watch Bleach. I started Fairy Tail, but really couldn't get into it. It was just too much power of friendship and fan service for me. One of my favorite, like one of my most recent favorite animes is Konosuba. Like it's just fucking hilarious. Another top tier anime that I really like is Kuroko no Basket and Hajime no Ippo. So these are my two favorite, like the two animes that I've like rewatched the most. Because like One Piece, you can't rewatch One Piece. Like, like you just gotta look for the clips that you just want to like revisit. Dragon Ball, like unless you're rewatching like Dragon Ball Kai or something like that, you're not gonna be like I can't deal with 50 episodes of them screaming anymore like I could when I was a kid. So don't really rewatch that. I rewatched the Broly movie like hell though, because that's a dope ass movie. I do like My Hero Academia. I think it's I don't think it's like the best. It's I like it a lot because I like superheroes, but I think it does get kind of overhyped and that kind of ruins it for some people. Demon Slayer, watch that. Cowboy Bebop, watch that. One of my favorite growing up was Samurai Champloo and Rurouni Kenshin. Really like those two a lot. What are some other animes that I've really enjoyed? I don't know if I mentioned Bleach, but that's another one. So I did watch like all the big three. Naruto also. I don't think I like Naruto as much as like other people do because I was actually more of a Dragon Ball and Bleach fan then. But let's see. There's a shit ton of others that I'm like missing out. I tried watching the Netflix version of Baki, but I feel like I feel like that's something you just gotta read. Same thing with like Berserk. Like I watched all the anime series for Berserk, but all of them were pretty shit. And since his passing, Kentaro Miura's passing, I've been collecting the deluxe editions. So I think I have 3 through 8 right now because 1 to 2 or yeah 1 and 2 like are just out of stock everywhere right now. So hopefully I can get one of those pretty soon. But let's see. Oh yeah, this is a game that I'm really looking forward to. So maybe like in the future, like if enough people on this channel have an interest in this kind of thing as well, Final Fantasy VII Remake, like like that game came out during the quarantines and stuff like that, so I was kind of grateful for that because I would just play that the entire day. Like the entire day I would just be playing that fucking video game, and it's a fucking fun video game. So I'm really excited at when after 10 years we get the part 2 of that game. So but yeah, that's about it. Like that's me in a nutshell. Like I'm a nerd, but I lift. Kind of brushed over a couple things, but I'm sure that this kind of covers the basics of what I've done as far as lifting, and then also just who I am as a person when I'm not in the gym. And over time, as I continue to release videos and we continue to work together, like you'll learn more about me. So, but that's me for today. So I really hope that you, I don't know, enjoyed this video. I realize how boring it might be just for me to be talking about myself, but you know, it's not something I've done on this channel yet. And also moving forward, I also just want you to know who I am. So I'm really grateful for all the support that you've given me for this channel. I'm really looking forward to hopefully serving you in a better way, you know, giving you as much useful information as you possibly can, because I think that people deserve to reach their goals. Like nothing is worse than living a life that you know isn't your best. So if I can help you do that, like you're gonna do all the hard work yourself, but if I can just give you anything that kind of eliminates some roadblocks or helps you get over them a bit sooner than you would otherwise, that's all I can hope for, and that's all I'm working for this channel and for any other content I create. So thank you so much for watching. My name is Corelsa King, StansStrength.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.